morning, guys. Welcome back to another Everyday Growth Advisors pre-market live stream. Hope you're having a good morning or a good evening here. What a day yesterday, trading day. Pretty interesting price action. We had one of the historic moments in the stock market. The fourth biggest short squeeze or intraday move that the SPY has ever gone through. The last one was in March of this year. So we had a big short squeeze. So let's unpack that really quickly. I posted a little blurb about it on Instagram as well. Would really appreciate it if you showed some love and go to the Instagram reel and just double tap and leave a comment on there. You know, obviously your support means the world to me. Truly appreciate you guys showing up and you know, taking the time out to be here, or even just you know, interacting with our page. So once again, want to say thank you. And if you enjoy these streams and you enjoy the content that we put out, go ahead, you know, leave a like, leave a subscribe if you can. That's all we ask for, and it's truly appreciated. So yesterday, after CPI news came out, we had a huge sell-off right pre-market. The S&P 500 went from 36.11 all the way down to around 34.95, breaking into all-time lows for this year. And then right after that, the market opened with shallow price action. We went sideways for a little bit, about 30 minutes or more, before a huge short squeeze ensued. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I definitely was not expecting that. And short squeezes are a pretty rare occurrence in the market. They don't happen very often, but when they do, they're pretty violent. And so this was a violent one because there were a lot of people caught on the offside. And when short squeezes happen, then when shorts cover their positions, bulls jump on as well, adding fuel to the fire. The whole thing goes in reverse, and that's essentially what happened yesterday. On top of that, hedge funds scramble for exposure to the upside. So we have that little press on the rally, and that's what kind of happened into the end of the day. Now, where do we go from here, and how do we play this? Obviously, you know, there's a lot of things going on here, and we need to unpack it slowly. So let's have a look at the macro conditions first, as we always do, and then we will dive into the technicals right after that. So going into the VIX first, and just looking at volatility as a general guideline. Having a look at the VIX here, we're still above 31, 31 or so. However, we do have this trend line that has been using as support for the past, you know, 2 months or so. So we could be using this trend line as a potential bounce level. It doesn't mean that we have to, but it could be a potential bounce level. And that would kind of bring the VIX down to about 30 odd or so, like 30 something. And if we do get that VIX bounce, then we'll probably head to the upside to retest this top over here. And then the VIX can break out into 35.50. That is the bearish case, or the upper bound range for volatility. The other way is if we fall right through 30 and start breaking below 28.86 or 28.80, that would be even more bullish, and that would send the S&P 500 further to the upside. So far, we haven't got an aggressive lightening of positions from the VIX. So as of right now, we want to be non-biased and definitely keep things objective to see if we actually do bounce here intraday for another squeeze to the downside. Okay. It seems like the market's in a squeeze fashion. So let's see what happens in the next 1 to 2 days. Now, next up is the bond market. A little bit of relief on the fat tail of the bond market this morning. TLT, 20+ year bond, ETF, showing a little bit of a reprieve or a little bit of buy up here. Just up ever so slightly. But remember that intraday bond prices can really change very quickly. The 10-year yield has also come down just a little bit. Let me see, where is it? US 10-year. This one. So the US 10-year yield came down to 3.88 after going to a high of 4.07 yesterday. And that's slightly notable because, you know, this could be a reversal here. And if we start breaking down below the 3.84 level on the yields, or 3.84, that sets up the yields to go down into around 3.5. So looking at that, we'll have to keep a close eye track on this, and I'll be setting an alert right here to make sure that if we get below that, then we are likely going to head for a rally. Remember that as yields come down, this helps to support valuations of equities. And it's a general expectation that when yields come down, then the valuation of equities start to rise. And then on top of that, we have the dollar index, which is making a lower high here, but is also being supported by a trend line. So we need to see if we once again bounce here, or are we going to break below and head for 109. Obviously, that would be a big move on the dollar index. So we're really expecting a pretty big move in terms of the macro situation and the way that things are going to change in the next couple of days. If this is all just a big fake out, then we are likely to get the VIX break right above 34, the US 10-year shift and rally above 4.1, and then the dollar index goes straight up to 115 as well. And that can happen pretty quickly as well. So you have to be really, really careful playing any direction right now. Having said that, let's jump into the technicals so that I can break this down for you guys. So if you look at SPY on the daily chart, we obviously came down into a low here, which was around 34.90, right? And that wasn't a significant low. We actually had unfinished price action here because we didn't really hit any volume nodes, neither did we hit any significant support. This was more of abrupt price change. So it does seem to me that this price increase, just in terms of candlesticks and volume, was very abrupt. It was very quick, and it was very it happened too quickly. So what are the major levels for today? 37.39 is one of the major levels. If we break above this, then we're going to retest 3,800 on SPX. And if you're looking for those levels on SPY, then that level on SPY is going to be obviously 370. And if we break above 370, then we're going to retest 380 basically. So that's going to be your upper bound pivot points for today. A break and a close above 380 is very, very bullish if we can get there for some reason, okay? Otherwise, if we reject anywhere between here and 380, this still sets up the bearish reversal for the downside and the retest of the lows for SPY 350 or so, okay? 348 to be very precise. And that would mean that we'll go lower that time around, possibly after some consolidation, all right? So we really have to play this carefully. And today, personally, I won't be trading that much because I want to see what the market does instead. Until and unless we see a very, very strong reversal of price action, I'm inclined to sit this one out and see where the market takes us, because it doesn't make sense for us to press every single day. After a big move like this, you would expect the market to digest the move and move very, very slowly, or move, very sluggishly. Now, there are a couple of things that you also have to be aware. Today kicks off the earnings season. Banks are reporting earnings today, number one. Number two, next week is OPEX. OPEX, which is options expiry. And remember what happens during OPEX weeks, I always mention, volatility, which is already high, tends to get higher. Not only that, options traders and market dealers, they tend to cover positions. They tend to roll out positions. There's a lot of money moving around to avoid expiries. And so people will be shifting a lot of capital around next week to either cover exposure or take on more exposure. And so it's going to be a messy week from today all the way till the end of next week. And this is just likely to be a very messy time to trade. Now, where would be my bearish pivot? It would be obviously below 36.39 on the SPX. And that on SPY is going to be around 359, okay? So 359, or you could even say 357 or so. If you want to be very, very precise, it's 356.13, okay? Once we get down below this level, that's confirmation that we're indeed going to go down to retest either 342 or 350 in this region. So that will be the bearish pivot. Above 370, bullish. Below 356, bearish. Anything in between, likely to be a chop. Because this is a chop zone already. You can see this is a major chop zone. So we could continue to chop here. There is a possibility, okay? I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying there is a possibility that happens because this has been previously a chop zone. So there you have it, the two pivot points on SPY and SPX. I've given it to you. NASDAQ, still looking a little hopeful. We are still, pretty much rejecting these upper levels here. And we'll see what happens intraday here to play either way. All right. So that's all I have for you guys in terms of macro and technicals. I'm also going to look at some other tickers here, like Apple. So Apple's one of them, which has a very deep trend line here. that could get rejected where we are right now, 144, 145-ish, if we get up there for the gap fill. We could go off with the gap fill at 145 and then reject on Apple. That would also show the upward kind of move that we have on SPX left over here, right, for that gap. And then Apple could reject and then maybe head down again. That is a possibility, of course. If we break above 148 and we start holding above 148, that's going to be very bullish for Apple to play to the other side now. So we have a lot of time to catch the reversal. So if really this is indeed a bullish wave, there's no need to scramble for exposure to the upside. That's all I'm going to say. With Amazon, we also have pretty similar setups. Downward trend so far. We need to break above very key levels on Amazon to get to the upper bound. So this one candlestick, you should possibly avoid it because it was ignore it because it was a one-off candlestick. Other sectors that I'm looking at is energy. XLE above 85 or so is going to be super bullish. So I'll be looking to take a bullish trade up into the 90s if XLE breaks. And then there's Tesla, which is the crowd favorite. And so let's have a look at this one. Big drop into 208. I did mention Tesla 220 was what I was seeking for a while. We got even lower at 208 and we bounced at a very important support here. So this may be a potential reversal zone for Tesla in the temporary interim. And this could be a upward bounce going to the upside up to 240 on Tesla, possibly, if we get momentum. Then semiconductors have been still a very tricky and sticky part of the market, and I haven't really seen real momentum come into this sector just yet. There was good volume yesterday on that reversal of the short squeeze candle, but it's not been as interesting as I expected it to be. This doesn't look like a proper reversal to me. The other ticker that I want to trade today possibly is Netflix, but it's already moving right now. Netflix to the upside could be huge. Movement up to 246 or even 250 is possible on Netflix. So definitely be watching Netflix today. That is also a possibility. And those are just some tickers that I'll be watching today. So I covered most of them already. Carlos, I just covered Amazon. So I hope you caught that. Amazon has to get above 117 or 118 for us to bounce on there. Get up here, bounce, and then to the upside. The downside pivot is still going to be 112.50. So keep your eyes on that. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you have a great trading session. I'm going to jump on Discord and get on the live trading session with our members right now. So I hope that you have a great trading day and a good weekend. I'll see you back on Monday for another breakdown here. And I hope that you definitely make some profits today. Peace, take care, and bye-bye.